Hi everyone. I'm not going to take up too much of your time, but I want to talk to you briefly about fundamental maths and English skills. Some of you may know that until relatively recently, the government required you to take online maths and English skills in order to start a PGCE. And last year they stopped those and passed on responsibility for ensuring that all new teachers have these fundamental maths and English skills to ITE providers like us. So it's our job to make sure that by the end of the year you have the required fundamental English and mathematics skills. So I'm going to show you how we are handling this and what you need to do. And the good news is that you don't need to do a huge amount. So you will find this guidance in the ADP. And it explains everything you need to know. So please, if you have any questions, make sure you've read this guidance very thoroughly first before you get in touch. Hopefully that guidance plus this film will give you all the information you need. But of course, if you still have any questions, get in touch with me directly, please. a.kitson@ucl.ac.uk. Let's start by talking about English. So fundamental English skills are listed here in the guidance, these 3 bullet points on the left-hand side. It's basically speaking, reading and writing, and you need to be able to do those fluently and accurately in English, obviously. The good news is that we're very confident that opportunities to demonstrate and develop these skills are already embedded within the course. So if you pass the PGCE and you gain QTS, you can be assured that you have the required level of fundamental English skills. Some of you may want to seek some help and support with your academic writing for your assignments, which you can get from the Academic Writing Centre at UCL, which is really good. And I do recommend it for anyone who wants that help. And of course, that's fine, but there is no specific requirement for you to do anything in order to meet these fundamental English skills beyond what we will ask you to do. So all the things you'd normally be doing on a PGCE, and some of them you've even already done because you've attended an interview, you've done some pre-course tasks, you're going to be teaching in schools, you're going to be writing evaluations, you're going to be communicating with students in their books, you're going to be presenting to your classes or and possibly at UCL, you're going to be completing 2 master's assignments, etc., etc., etc. So we're going to have plenty of evidence that you have the right English skills. So that's covered and you don't need to worry about that. You don't need to worry about mathematics either, but I know some of you will. For some of you, you won't have engaged with formal mathematics for quite a while. And please, I'm going to say this very emphatically, that you all already have a good GCSE or equivalent in mathematics, or else you wouldn't be on this PGCE course. There is nothing that is required of you that is above that level. What the government has done is identified some specific aspects of mathematics which they feel is particularly relevant for teaching. And of course, the government is mindful that many of you won't have engaged with mathematics for a while and they want you to just brush up those essential skills. But it really is nothing to worry about. We are not requiring evidence of advanced mathematics. So for all of you who don't even like to think of the word mathematics, and I know there are some of you out there like that, please don't stress. There will be plenty others of you who feel, reasonably okay with maths, but will be grateful for a little bit of top up. And there will be others of you who are supremely confident, not least because you're engaged in a mathematics, physics or physics with maths PGCE course. And I'll say more about that group in a moment. Let me show you first of all what these fundamental math skills are actually. So essentially it's about data. So can you analyze and interpret data in various formats, including in graphs? So that's the first one. The second one is about completing mathematical calculations, which might involve percentages. It's going to involve multiplication and addition and so on. And can you use different kinds of approaches to solving very everyday kinds of mathematical problems? Can you break things down? Can you make estimates? Can you answer a mathematical question and have some sense of whether your answer is reasonable or not, or is it way out? That sort of thing. So it's very much everyday maths problems. And you'll see in a moment that the website we're going to refer you to for help on this very much presents maths problems in everyday terms. So it's the kind of maths that you'll be used to looking at, like, there's 15% off this item in the sale. So how much is that left to pay? Or, I'm out for dinner with a group of people and we're going to split the bill and it's 5 of us, how much should each of us pay? It's real everyday life kind of stuff. So it's not advanced maths. Have I said that enough times? I think I'll just say it one more time. It's not advanced mathematics. Okay, so let's go back up to here. So we're asking you to do 2 things. I'm going to start with the second thing because that does involve all of you. The second thing listed here, and then I'll go back to the first thing because PGCE students in maths, physics, and physics with maths don't need to do this first thing in the list here. But stay with me for now, maths and physics people, because you do need to do the second tasks. Okay, so 2 tasks to do in maths. This is the second one. Everyone does it. And this is a school-based data task, which you complete during your second placement. So it will be part of your professional studies programme. Your PCM will support you with this. And it is an extremely practical exercise requiring you to analyse data in the way that you will need to do when you start your teaching career. And you will be looking at data like this from the moment you step foot in a school in October. So this is a completely fair task to get you to do because it's the sort of thing you definitely need to be able to do. I'm not going to go through it too much, but basically you have to analyse a set of class data, including thinking about the limitations of the data and what data can't tell us. And then you need to look at some A-level results from a department over the last 5 years and look at trends, work out what a residual is, which is explained. And there's a little maths task where you have to calculate a small number of percentages. And there's an explanatory note there about how to calculate in percentages if you've forgotten. So that's the school-based task. The data is real. It's from a real school, it's from a real class, it's from a real department. And the feedback last year from PCMs was that they really valued this task and they felt it was a really valuable one and useful one. So I hope that that's a useful thing to engage with on your second placement. Now, at that point, if you're following a maths PGCE, a physics PGCE, or a physics with maths PGCE, you're done. Okay. The only thing you need to do as a result of this talk is make sure you do that school-based task on your second placement. So off you go, those students and the rest of you. So that's the vast majority of you on PGCE courses other than maths, physics, and physics with maths. You have one other thing to do. And this is a thing that I want to do as soon as possible, because I'd like you to really engage with this as much as you can before you get distracted with school and get very busy with school. Because you're all at very different levels with your mathematics, we needed a tool which would be flexible, which would enable you to get the support you needed on a very sort of bespoke, tailored level. So what we have identified is the National Numeracy.org.uk website. This is a really, really, really good website. I'm going to take you there in a second and we'll see how it works. It's absolutely designed for this kind of thing. It's for people who are not professionally mathematicians and who need to be proficient at maths, usually for their job, but it could be just people want to improve their maths as a life skill. And what I want you to do with this is, well, let me show you first of all. Let's have a look at the site. That probably makes more sense. So you need to, oh, hang on, I'm not showing my screen, am I? Sorry, bear with me. There we go. So first of all, I've already sort of logged on. I've just created a new login for myself so that it would treat me as a new person, and I've had a really quick go at it just to familiarize myself because it's changed slightly from last year. So I've already done all of that. So you go in and you just put in your email address and date of birth and various things. It's completely free. And the first thing you want to do is you go to the National Numeracy Challenge home screen, and you want to take a quick check. Okay, I had a really quick go at one earlier today. I think I got I don't know what kind of a mark that was actually, but I've slightly lost track what it's out of now. But anyway, it shows you how many you got wrong. So let's do it together and you can see how it works. So this is what you want to do first. Go to the National Numeracy Challenge website and go to the quick check. All right. Now I've already done it once, but let's have another go. So I'm going to do some more. All right. You can use calculator. That's good. So I'll just answer this one for real, and then I'll just quickly click on the others and you can see what happens. So a quarter of the office team of 40 are trained in first aid. How many people is this? And so a quarter of 40 is 10. The yellow paper strip is 4 centimetres long. The blue strip is 5 times as long. How long is that? So 4 times 5 is 20. So, or is it 5 times as long? 25? Okay, let's try that. It's nearly lunchtime. How long is it until my break? 9 minutes. Can you see they're not massively hard, are they? Okay, I'm now going to just click on random ones. All right, so I've got 3 questions right, so that's a pretty low score. Take a look at the ones you got wrong. That piece of string was wrong, wasn't it? Yeah, the answer is 20, right? Must be. Let's have a look at that one. So you can go to the, sorry, I've rushed into this. Let me just show you. So these are the questions that I got wrong. And you can click on any of these questions. I'm going to do the paper strip one. And you click on that and it takes you to that question. And if you click here, because this is the National Numeracy link, it'll tell you what you got wrong, what the right answer is and why that is. So I'm going to say it's none of these, and I'm right because it is 20 centimetres long. And now it shows me because it's 5 times as long, so it's 5 lots of 4. That's good, and it just gives me a bit of info. All right, so that's super useful, I think. Let's just go here. Let's look at another one that I got wrong, which I didn't even read. Okay, so this looks like the sort of thing that my son does frequently in his school. What is the smallest possible number of coins you need to make 68 pence. So, I randomly chose the top one, 7, which was incorrect. So let's visit this, and it's going to tell me. Let's try a different one then. I'm going to say 6. And the correct answer is actually 5. And it's going to tell me those are all the possible coins. Can't use £1 and £1, £2. I can use a 50. Can't use a 20. I can use a 10. I can use a 5. I can use a 2 and a 1. There we go. So 5 coins required. All right. Now, if some of these questions fox you a bit, what you can do, so I'm going to click on a different one now, this one here. So I've been clicking on this, and I think this is really useful. So you get a question wrong, you click on that when you get your results, you go to the National Numeracy, how to answer this question. I think that's great. But if you're still feeling a little bit concerned, or you still don't quite understand it, what it's doing is it's sending you to another place where you can find out these sorts of things. And they're all very user-friendly. There's even more there. So quite often they're BBC bite size. This one, I've heard of this one, Soft Schools. Let's have a look. So this is sending me somewhere else completely. And it's going to give me some more support in how to do that kind of calculation. So it's really useful. Here we go. So that's given me a little more help. All right. Now, that first quick check-in is really quick. That's a handful of questions. So if you, when you first engage with this, if you do a quick check, and if you get all the questions right, please do a couple more of these quick check-ins, because they are, they're very short. And it may be that you continually get all of them right if you're really good at maths and you're very confident. In which case, just as a final step, I would take the longer checkup test, please. So you start with your quick check, which is just, I think, about 9-10 questions. And then if that's all going swimmingly, you do the longer checkup. Again, if you get a good score in that, and that's marked out of 100, although I'm not sure it's 100 questions, I think that's a percentage, but anyway. And if you do really well on that, then you can print out a certificate and various things. You don't have to print out a certificate as evidence for your AGP, don't worry. But that's what I'm suggesting for those who think that their math is already fine and they're getting full marks on these quick checks. Go on the checkup, the fuller checkup. If that goes well as well, then you're done. All right. For the mere mortals amongst us, if you go to the quick check like I did, and if you get a score like 3, 4, 5, 6, then the chances are you're going to need to brush up on this a little bit. In fact, even if you get one question wrong, you're going to want to look at why you got that question wrong, and you're definitely going to want to have more practice. You're going to want to do more questions until your confidence builds up. And you may find that simply by looking at why you got a question wrong is enough, and that helps you build up your understanding. And next time you're asked a similar question in another checkup, quick check test, you do better. Or you might want to visit some of those external website links that I've shown you. So this is just it's a process, okay? This isn't about by the end of next week you all have to have got 100% in the longer checkup. That's not what this is about. This is about you building up your confidence with fundamental, basic, everyday mathematics skills. So use the website in a way that suits you. Take some quick checks, follow the links, take some more quick checks, follow some more links, look at what you got wrong, why you got them wrong, and so on, until you start to feel that your scores are improving and you're getting better. And at some point, all of you should have a go at the longer checkup. We're not asking you to reach a specific mark with that, because we don't have a means of verifying all of this, because we're not going to sit you in a room and monitor you completing it alone. So this is for your benefit, but we would like you to have a go at the longer checkup when you feel ready. They're not really difficult questions, it's just a longer one. And again, that will generate some more help, and you can retake it as well if you want to. So that's the website, designed to be supportive, designed to help you. And fundamentally, what we're asking is, by engaging with this National Numeracy Challenge and the school-based task, your confidence in your skill in mathematics goes up a little bit for those that feel they need it. And as I say, nobody here is not going to be able to engage with this, because you're all proficient in mathematics already, as indicated by your GCSE or equivalent grade. So I think for many of you, it's just going to be about refreshing your memory, and maybe you've got one or two areas that have always been a challenge for you that you want to work on. This should not take you huge amounts of time. It would be great if you engaged with this as soon as possible. On the guidance, it says for you to start engaging with this in the first week, but I'm very conscious that you don't have your ADPs yet, and I know some of you won't have full access to Moodle yet, so please don't panic if you're only engaging with this in in the second or third weeks. But the quicker you engage with it, the more you can start following some of those links and building up your confidence and skills. You may well want to just get that out of the way before you go into school in October. But some of you may want to pace yourselves a bit and do bits and pieces on this over the year, and that's your choice. What we are asking you to do in the ADP is simply to make a record of the sorts of things you do. So when you go onto the National Numeracy Challenge website, I want you to just pop in the date that you first engage with it, and just make some comments there about those initial checks that you do. So, if you are one of those people who gets really kind of almost full marks from the beginning, then you're probably just going to want to put the date there. You might want to say, did 2 or 3 of the check-ins got full marks, did the fuller checkup, and got this mark, and I feel really confident, and therefore I'm not going to take any subsequent actions. For most people, I think they're probably going to be saying, got these sorts of, got a mark of whatever, 6 or something, areas to develop, looks like I need to work on this and this, I retook my check-in, and actually I think I also need to work on this, and then just make a note of the actions that you take. And I've given you some examples of what you might write. So, what are the dates you complete these quick checks? How many times do you do it? What sort of marks do you get? I'm not saying that you have to demonstrate you've reached a particular mark, but that's good evidence just to show that perhaps you started off by getting, this mark, and then after engagement in this, your mark goes up, and that's worth recording, right? I want you to definitely summarise the kind of actions you take. So if there are areas you feel you should develop or need to develop, please summarise what you do. So how useful do you find those links to those incorrectly answered questions that we just looked at? And what other websites do you visit as a way of improving your understanding and your skills? And when do you feel confident enough to have a go at the fuller checkup? And perhaps you revisit that after a month, and have your marks gone up. I got a lot of questions last year saying, do I need to print out a certificate? What's the minimum mark you're asking for? The answer to that is no. You don't have to print out the certificate, and there is no minimum mark that we're looking for, but we are looking for evidence that you have engaged with this. Reasonably full account of the things that you've done would be great. If you want to print out a certificate, that's also fine. You could do screenshots if you really want to, but you don't have to do any of that. The only thing that's compulsory is to make some notes in this table here. There are some exemplars you can look at. Just be aware that last year the format of this was slightly different, but you can have a look at the exemplars of what sorts of things people wrote last year. Hope that has reassured you. I hope that it hasn't alarmed anybody. And just to reiterate then, that nothing further to do for English, fundamental English skills. Everybody then has to do a school-based data task as part of the mathematics strand, and that's in placement 2, and you'll do that collaboratively with your PCM and with other students in the school. And anybody who's not on a maths, physics, or physics with maths PGC course needs to engage with the National Numeracy Challenge website as soon as possible. It's incredibly non-threatening. It's meant to be supportive. It is really useful. I've found it very user-friendly. I've used it myself now, and just keep a record of what you do on that website to improve your mathematics skills. That is it, folks. So I will leave you there. Any major problems or questions, get in touch. All the best. Bye.